Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting from the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight we crown our Rumble champion. The Barracudas await in the grand finals. Who will come from the lower bracket to join them? I'm your host, Artie Rain, joined on desk by Joe Chigbrow. So in our time here, casting Esports Tower, a lot of the things we've talked about have heavily centered and focused around rotations. What makes a good rotation in Rocket League?
A lot that goes into a really good rotation comes from that skeleton that we talked about a little bit before with the first, second, and third man being the big core part of rotation. But I think what really goes into a really strong, adaptive, and pressuring rotation, even on the defensive end, is making sure that all three players are looking at more than just the ball, and they're making sure they're observing all the data in front of them and coming with the best solution to what's in front of them just based off that information.
Just like in real soccer, got to make sure you keep your head on a swivel and you aren't tunnel visioning down on that ball. So your attention focus needs to not just be in one location, but all over the place. So you got to, activate that big brain and make sure you're focusing on everything. With that being said, the players that need to focus on that advice coming from Joe this week are going to be coming from these amazing teams. For the Esports Tower, Wolves, Lynx, Barracudas, and Stingrays. Barracudas already awaiting for the other teams in the grand finals. Byron Center High School is going to be one of our first teams that we see this evening, as well as the Wolves. So you can see here in our bracket, Barracudas chilling in the grand finals, get await whomever is going to go up against them. First, we're going to have Byron Center take on the Wolves. Stingrays going to be waiting for the champion of that game to then move on into our lower semis. And then lower finals, Lynx, they get to sit patiently and wait as well to see if they are going to be our Cinderella story or someone from our very first lower bracket game tonight is going to be our Cinderella. And a quick reminder to all of our viewership today that is watching on Twitch, make sure you support your team, celebrate their successes, and be respectful to the other fans. Mods will remove anyone who violate these chat rules because, of course, you never know who's watching. We're all just here to have fun, have a good time, and make sure everyone is enjoying their Rocket League experience, whether you are observing and watching and cheering someone on or playing as one of the players. And, of course, we also have words of advice for the Rocket League players themselves coming in the form of Doc's Keys to the Game, presented today by Esports Tower. Those keys to the game are create mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo to disrupt. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. And our first game, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be the Wolves taking on Byron Center High School. Best of luck to all 6 players. This is going to be a best of 5. While there is a slight safety net if you fumble the ball a little bit here in the first couple of games, there is no more safety net as far as the series goes. First kickoff goes in favor of Brian Stratton, but instead it's going to be Kuda who corrals it from their defensive third, bringing it across midfield stripe, leaving it for F as they force one defender out of position.
Side leading the offensive charge, doesn't have a player to pass to. However, Kuda with a response off the clear just dips out Spectral Who. A response from F. He has a little bit of time according to his screen, but doesn't really have a good pass, has to leave it, and Kanura will push downfield. Kuda not quite able to make contact, so F will have to clear it out. And now working together, they're able to cross the midfield line.
Ball goes towards Byron Center's net. They do manage to make a save. Scythe goes for another one. Double commit on the save, goes unpunished as F was the only one there. We have a demo onto Tony XD. Kuda's going to be the one to pop the ball into midfield stripe. Takes a ricochet off the ceiling. F comes in to force it into the corner. Spectral Who goes for the challenge against F, and it's going to be Kuda coming in to try and make sure that there is a give-and-go opportunity. Ball goes across towards Scythe, but Scythe gets sent to respawn, as does Kunar.
F on the ball, looking for a pass over, can't really do anything with it, goes for the 50-50. Scythe just has to chase it against the wall and hopefully not give up possession. He bumps Spectral Who, goes for the gamble play instead, does remain in control of play, is able to get past one, only has one more left to beat, but Spectral Who will be in the way. Kuda now looking for the clear, has to get past Kanura, and he can. Doesn't get contact on the ball. Wolves trying to break through here, but they're not quite able to. F has to turn around and maybe keep pressure on a little longer, but Tony will have the clear.
Ball gets sent into the corner inside Wolves territory. It's going to get stopped. Side goes for the challenge. It's pitched up towards the ceiling and midfield stripe. Spectral Who elevates, whiffs on it. F is going to capitalize on that mistake. Ball hits that top crossbar, ricochets almost to midfield stripe. Side looking for an opportunity to bring it around Tony. Instead, they'll leave it. Spectral Who sends the ball to the side. Kuda goes for the challenge, a little bit of help from F. F now pops it up over one. Can they get it past Tony? They can, because Tony doesn't get a touch on it, but the follow from the Wolves is too slow. F looking to reset the play, but instead it's going to be Spectral Who to bring it to midfield. Stripe challenge by Kuda, who sets the ball against the backboard. 50-50, right back to Kuda off F, colliding with one of Byron Center's players.
Off the wall, F has a shot opportunity. He will put it through. The Wolves lead at about the midpoint line in this game. A well-fought endeavor by Byron, trying to force it out, but just not quite able to do it. Wolves offense breaks them down. Now leading the response charge is Tony, actually cutting in front of Kanura. Spectral Who trying to slow down the play as the clears towards his own net, but he's not quite able to do so. Kanura has to throw the ball away back to himself to get past Kuda.
A little bit of a four-car pileup. 3 Wolves members, 1 Byron Center player in the corner here, defensive third of ET territory. Scythe gets pushed a bit forward. Kuda's going to be the one to grab the ball, send it into the corner. 50-50 pitch towards the ceiling. Scythe and F both looking for an opportunity to get a touch. F leaves it for Scythe, who is in a 2-on-1 now in the corner, in the defensive third of Byron Center's territory. Kuda off the wall, for an opportunity to keep the ball alive. Can't though, they whiff on the elevation. F with a pinch off the back wall. Sends it to Scythe at midfield, strives Spectral Who, reads it off the ground, tries to bring it back to the mid. He's gonna send it across the field.
Spectral Who trying to pass over to Kanura off the sidewall. It does get the pass off, but no good shot. Scythe is able to respond. F barely hits it out the last time. Kuda with the clear out towards side. Could be an open net opportunity. Takes the shot. It's just against the sidewall. A rushed opportunity will lead to no goal, but F finally have the response against a scrambling Byron Center defense. Wolves lead 2-0 with 1:23 left.
Typically that 2-goal lead when we're ticking down this far does mean the nail in the coffin, but these goals have been far and few between from the Wolves, so the response from Byron Center can still happen, but they need to find one here in roughly 45 seconds. They want enough time to try and find a second. Tony plays it around one, but leaves the ball off the pitch from the corner, and unfortunately means that it's an opportunity for the Wolves. Tony now has the ball again. Very little pressure, they have time, but Scythe is going to come in as they took too many touches, followed up by Kuda. Ball defensive third at Byron Center. Shot on goal from F, hits the goalpost. Scythe looking to rekindle the play, is going to elevate. Looks like they took a few too many pitches off that wall and lost possession of the ball.
Spectral Who passes off the sidewall. F with the shot. It's a little too high and off. Kanura can't respond. Tony is leading instead. A bump onto Tony could open up some space, but Kanura currently has possession. Outplays Kuda, blaze it through the corner, and almost finds another shot opportunity for Tony, but the block will be there from the Wolves. Kind of piling on top of each other, not quite able to find a way out. Finally, with a little bit of space, F can control it past Kanura, has Tony to beat. The 50-50 will not go in his favor. Kuda barely not ready and set up for that ball.
And in the nick of time, 10 seconds left on the clock. It's kind of pretty close to find a goal for Byron Center. If you're asking my own personal professional caster opinion, they do find one goal, but they've got 9 seconds to find another. They get a demo on the site, but there's a pitch from F sending the ball across midfield stripe. There's 3 seconds remaining. Spectral Who has to get this ball in the air and keep it up there to keep the opportunity for Byron Center alive in order to score another goal. And instead, there's just collision after collision. Ball hits the ground, and the Wolves walk away with the first game of victory here in this best of 5.
Well-fought game, to say the least. Only a 1-goal game at the end of the day. Kind of surprising, all things considered. I think at the end of the day, what it just came down to is a more consistent use of all 3 teammates from the Wolves.
I mean, not to, like, kind of poke the bear here a little bit, because I'm going to call Byron Center out. Both the goals that were scored by the Wolves seemed like Byron Center over-rotated or thought the play was done and just gave up. You cannot assume the play is done when it's in your defensive third and none of your teammates have possession. I mean, that is an easy goal-scoring opportunity for the other team, and they just kind of handed it on a silver platter over towards the Wolves.
Yeah, I think what I just saw mostly is that Byron Center just isn't quite as coordinated as the Wolves right now. There are a lot of opportunities where I was surprised to see one of the Byron Center teammates cut in front of their own teammate and take the ball away from them. And that kind of catching your team off guard, catching the casters off guard is not something we expect from the Esports Tower teams. And just it's making better use of their boost and making better use of the people they have in play. And I think that's something that really needs to step up along with their perception of the play, as you mentioned, coming into game 2.
I mean, Esports Tower teams, of course, are well-matched and well-balanced, so it's no shock to us that here going into our championship games that we're not seeing a lot of the ball hog moments. There's a lot more looking at who's open, who has pressure, and going for give and goes instead of trying to just be the one with the ball, because at the end of the day, there's 2 other people on the field, and they are tools to your success. As we go into game number 2, 10 seconds off the clock, ball is going to be dwindling here inside Wolves territory.
Spectral Who keeping it at the midfield line. Kuda does hit it downfield. It's up in the air looking for the shot, can't quite get it. A response. F just pushes it towards the corner, tries to buy more time to reset the play. Tony's not able to get a good touch on it. Side pops on the missed opportunity immediately. Wolves finding their first goal in record time in this series. No response from Byron Center defense will lead to a really easy goal for the Wolves.
Pinch off of the wall. It's going to go down into Wolves territory. They do find a clear to midfield try. Kuda tries to, I think, spiral off the wall. Can't find the right angle. Ball's going to be inside defensive third for Byron Center. We have Kuda push the ball back up towards F. It's 3-on-1. F still maintaining possession. They're going to lose a lot of momentum as they lose out on that boost. Kuda does a back. Oh, that bicycle kick did allow F to get possession. Looks like over rotations from Byron Center. F now in the air. Kunar's going to go for the challenge and actually win it. But there's no follow-up from Byron Center to keep that opportunity alive.
Still in front of their net. Kuda looks for the shot, can't get it. Maybe he has to rush back. Maybe he's caught off here, and he's not quite. Barely in play for it. Spectral Who with a pass off the sidewall. There should be a shot here, but there's no one in sight. Scythe has all the time in the world, gets to go past 1, maybe past 2, loses the 50-50 and has to play it back into his own corner and cuts off his own teammates. The Wolves not quite sure who's going for what right now. Tony trying to lead the charge. The 50-50 off the wall from Spectral Who won't be good enough, and Scythe will clear it out. Finally, the Wolves breathe a sigh of relief and find another goal off of a slow Byron Center defense response. The defense is just not feeling it right now for Byron Center.
I mean, there is an old saying of your best defense is a better offense or something along those lines. I, of course, heavily disagree. Your best defense is a good defense. So Byron Center, you can't just keep letting these goals happen. Being down by 2 with 3 minutes still remaining means that score gap could continue to increase. Kuda is going to tornado up, pinch the ball down. It's going to be Kunar who's going to be there waiting for him, though. So let's see if they manage to keep this play alive. F, 50-50 pinch towards the ceiling. While still defensive third of Byron Center's half the field.
Kuda's up. Not quite able to make a play of it. Spectral Who does have first touch, but a good demo, not enough. Tony is also in the area. Scythe able to play it off 50-50 from his teammate, not quite able to get it across. He's rolling up the sidewall. A good response from Kuda. Will keep the ball in play a little longer. F, no touch from him. Beat out barely. Now Tony with the high shot over Scythe, and it should just, no! They did not quite find a way to get it through, and Byron Center will walk away with no goal in that situation. Oh my goodness, and Kuda almost throws another one, but he does manage to get the rebound touch. And the Wolves now lead 3 up on Byron Center. Less than half a game left on the clock.
Man, I really thought Byron Center had that goal. I wish that there was a replay button for me just to like clip that. Look at how close this was. Unfortunately, they just have to GG go next and try again on another goal scoring opportunity. They have it. They push the defender out of position, but then all of them still manage to rotate in. They're really bunched up, and they demo 1. 2-on-1. They unfortunately can't find the back of the net. Ball's going to reset back to midfield stripe. It's going to be F chasing after it. Tony is going to pop the ball up into the corner inside ETU Wolves defensive territory. Kunara looking to try and take his ball away from F. Can't do it, though. It looks like they just took a few too many flips and lost control of their own car.
Oh my goodness, and that one will just roll in for the Wolves. It looked like the Byron Center defense didn't have enough boost to get the right angle to chip it out. Just overwhelming the Byron Center defense, but so many breakaway opportunities or just missed opportunities coming from both teams. It feels like the quality of defensive end play could definitely go up for both teams.
Wow, shots fired.
I mean,
you can't see it, but Joe definitely just gave me a shrug after I said that to him. That was definitely shots fired.
I mean, true, but I mean that play is like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm sticking to it. No one in net, no one able to respond. Easy goal for Byron Center. Finally breaking through that goal.
Yeah, but they got to get 3 more, and they have roughly 20 seconds apiece to do it. The question is, can they? Tony pushes the ball forward, but it's F waiting for him right there. There's just not a lot of attempts being made right now at Byron Center to force a defender out of position before they go for these goals. They're kind of just hoping to face them down, with very little help from their teammates. There's rarely a give-and-go situation in front of them. It's mainly having to look for a pass back or for someone to come in from behind. 2-on-1 collision from the Wolves against Byron Center results in the ball still stagnating here inside Wolves territory. Scythe tries to steal the ball away from Tony, can't find it, but ball is now in defensive third of Byron Center's territory.
A shot up in the air, finally shot out. Tony not quite meant to be in the way of that, but he was getting the pass out. Scythe bumped by his own teammate. F is going to take control instead. Passes it down one, has one player to beat. Only Kanura in the air, and Kanura just doesn't have a good enough aerial to even attempt bumping him in air. And the Wolves will pull ahead 5-1 now. 20 seconds left on the clock. At this point, this game is pretty much over. It's a go next situation for Byron Center in a best of 5. They still have an opportunity to reverse sweep, but I'm not seeing it from Byron Center right now.
Wow. A little bit of shade. But of course, there is a tradition here in Esports Tower, and that's the Esports Tower best of 5, always, you know, kind of going to a best of 3. So I have faith that Byron Center can bring this one back, but they got to stop fumbling the bag, so to speak, here. You know, there's a lot of mistakes that we're seeing that, to be blunt, I would consider rookie mistakes in the term of Rocket League and Esports Tower. Like, just the caliber of players that we're used to seeing. You don't typically see people ball hogging as much as we have, especially in game number 2. Hopefully by game number 3 it calms down a bit more. There was a little bit from the Wolves, though, there near the end. I think F and Scythe were having a little bit of I don't know how to put it, ball hoggy ego trip moment, because it looked like neither one were really willing to give up on the ball.
Coordination issues, to say it as
could have also been calculated.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, really? But I'm going to have to agree with you. That game 2, it looked a little different from game 1, and the scoreline looked a lot heavier in favor of the Wolves. But I'm going to make an argument that, like, it should have been much closer. It should have been just like game 1. But they're just all the goal opportunities that Byron had, they just didn't jump on top of. And at the end of the day, I think both teams are making kind of similar mistakes. I think it's just going to come on Byron that they have to make more use out of the time they're given. And Wolves, just every time that they're given that weird opportunity, they're not going for passing plays. They're just forcing Byron to make a mistake. Every time they have that mistake in hand, they just take a good shot and they walk away with the goal. And I need to see that from Byron Center if they want to walk away with an opportunity to reverse sweep here.
Well, all of their safety net is completely gone, and Kuda has no one in front of them. That was horrifying. That's exactly what Joe was just talking about in the last game. Defense just not being home a lot here for Byron Center, and I don't really know how to describe what just happened. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, y'all just saw that. We'll have to see how this goes from here on. I mean, a goal in the first 20 seconds, you can bring that one back, but 2 goals in the first minute is a little bit rough. We'll have to see if the Wolves find that second one or if Byron Center manages to keep this to a 1-0 scoreline for the next 24 seconds.
F going for the play pass 1 and bumped around by Scythe. Now Kuda pushing down the field, has the touch off the backboard, no shot yet. Actually, the shot is responded to. Byron Center defense, no contact from the 2 defenders in the way. Just a misread entirely on the play, relying way too much on that first aggressor. Tony now has to lead the charge to try to make a mounting play back, but he's not able to do it. Kuda pushing towards the wall. Spectral Who with the 50-50 against the wall. Scythe playing it slow, not able to do anything with it. Where is Byron Center offense? It rolled in front of the net. Somebody needs to be there. Kuda just barely whiffs and will hop over him. Byron Center finding a goal. Still have plenty of time to turn this game around and take game 3.
Byron Center, I need you to stop giving up on your own plays and the other team's plays, thinking it's over. Make sure you know where the ball is at before you call it. Now we've got F elevating. Spectral Who goes for the challenge. It's pinched into the corner. Scythe looking for an opportunity to play it back to Kuna. It's going to be Tony instead the midfield stripe. So we have a 3-car collision resulting in Tony going back to spawn. F and a 2-on-1. Never mind, it's a 3-on-2. Another demo onto Kuda. Looks like Byron Center is getting a little feisty and a little angry, so they're just going to choose to send people back to the respawn. The Demo Demolition Derby strat coming out. Love to see it, but nothing's being capitalized on now.
A lot of battling in the corners, not able to do anything with it. F is leading a charge, maybe has a goal opportunity here. He does. The double save from Byron Center. It's keeping them alive a little bit longer. Kuda has to fight for possession at the midfield line, is not able to keep it. It'll push past with the help of Byron Center. Spectral Who now pushing it into the front of the net. Scythe with a clear, and we'll just hang out a little bit longer at the midfield line.
Ball goes into the corner from Tony. Does look like Scythe is going to go for the challenge against Spectral Who. F instead chose for the second challenge. Kuda does as well. Kunara is going to pop the ball up above the net. There's no response from their team, and it's a 3-on-1. Tony tries to come in and make it 3-on-2. Ball slowly in the air into the corner. Wolves defensive third. Lots of bunching up, not a lot of spatial control nor midfield control coming out from either team right now as Kuda gets it around one, can't get it around Spectral Who. Scythe tries to go for the challenge, can't find it. Now there's no one home for the side of the Wolves, and finally, Byron Center capitalizes on a huge misplay for the Wolves to find another goal.
Well used opportunity there. Byron Center now putting us at a 0-0 score line with about 2 minutes left on the clock. They're gunning for this game 3. Wolves are going to have to work for it. Kuda not able to make contact. There's another opportunity. Kanura takes the shot. It's not quite good enough. Kuda will clear it out. Now against the wall. Scythe is pushing out, trying to get past Kanura. Wins 50-50 over to F. Tony will cut in and he'll push towards the Wolves back end. F just places it down, tries to slow down the play. Spectral Who with the pass, Scythe towards the corner. Actually, F will cut in too. They'll work together for the pinch out. Tony with the response. Kuda has next possession, plays it off the wall, is able to get past Tony, but not able to get past Kanura, who gets the weirdest pass I've ever seen. Definitely unintentionally, but it won't be enough as the Wolves are able to push past the midfield line.
Midfield stripe, Tony dies down, losing all of their boost resource. F looking for a shot on goal. It's too low, too slow, and too wide. Ball gets cleared back into Wolves defensive third. F looking to play it off the backboard. Can't find the speed necessary to do that. So it's a 3-card defensive bull pile up in the corner. F finally off a pinch from Spectral Who gets it across midfield stripe. It's volleyed right back. Scythe and Kuda looking for an opportunity to respond. Kuda clears the ball, but it's in front of their own net. Not exactly the play they're looking for, so F has to come in and try to push the ball all the way towards the wall. They managed to do just that, but the ball's not outside of Wolves territory just yet.
Tony playing it towards the wall, can't quite remain in control. Kuda might have an opportunity here to swing around, actually leaves it for Scythe, pops it over Tony. F with the pass off the wall, a bump on the side will make it so there's no opportunity at all for the Wolves. A clear out to the midfield line. Kuda is able to respond, looks to the play off the ceiling, doesn't quite hit the ceiling hard enough, meeting Scythe up in the field. Now F is the last defender, takes the shot towards the high corner. Tony is not quite up and in the way. 25 seconds left on the clock. Wolves are well in the lead. They just need to buy a little bit more time here.
There definitely can be a buzzer beater here from Spectral Who tries to pinch it down and dunk it off the ceiling towards a teammate, but instead it was an overcommit from all of Byron Center. All 3 of them in the net weren't ready for the response from the Wolves. Now with that 2-goal lead, I have to agree with you. Sorry, Byron Center, but y'all just left your net wide open. Is the juice worth the squeeze? And in that instance, the answer was no, as you're now trailing by 2 with 5 seconds left on the clock, possibly about to be 3. Yes, now it is going to be a 5-2 score line, and that is going to be it. No safety net left for Byron Center. This is GG Go Next, and we'll have to see you in the next Rumble as the Wolves manage to stay alive a little bit longer here in the lower bracket finals.
A complete defensive collapse from Byron Center will mean that they are out, getting swept by the Wolves, but a well-fought game 1 and 3. I have to give it to them. Game 2 probably could have been a lot closer, but the Wolves will advance this time around. We'll have to see if we can get Byron Center in here next time as well.
So Wolves are going to go advance on take on the Lynx, but before we even jump into that, I'm pretty sure you could agree with me on this one, Joe. Going at it alone can only get you so far, and ultimately if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. We definitely saw that from the Wolves in comparison to Byron Center, just based off of how much passing we saw and how few double commits that seemed to be accidental from our perspective that were happening. Esports Tower really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates, and I'd like to give a shout out to Coach Jake. And if you're watching and haven't checked out the Esports Tower clubs, you definitely should. It's a fast track to help you rank up. So the Wolves advance on into the next round, and so that's going to be them taking on, I believe, the Lynx, unless I'm...
I think it's the Lynx, yeah.
Or yeah, I think. Or Stingrays. I'm
pretty sure it's Lynx.
If you can't see the bags under my eyes, I'm a little tired. So with that being said, we still have plenty of Rocket League left, and we are going to take a quick break before we jump into those games, so don't go anywhere. Drink some water, grab that earth juice. It's really important. Hopefully it was on your New Year's resolutions like it was mine, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes.
You take really strong players from disparate communities and you put them together on teams with expert coaching.
So you mean to tell me by all the hands in the room, everybody in here is that top 2%?
It's ultimate, it's a 1v1, and Prestige does it!
It's not every day that you're a kid like me and you get to have this experience.
It's something, it gets one.
This boot camp is really about finding out every weakness.
There's no such thing as a big mistake at this level.
I have people in the crowd there cheering my name on. I have to give them a show.
That feeling of just being up on stage and having a whole crowd of people, it's unbeatable.
1v1, but... Oh, why would you pick him?
I love this. I want to do this every day.
Another pin!
You didn't make a choice, so you were just looking at things.
If you want to go pro, sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
Jump up and down, you're a crowd, you're casters. It's a transformational experience.
That was a light switch, and now I see what it's all about.
A lot of players here right now are caught up in winning their tournaments 5-10 years down the road. They're not going to remember who won.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast, the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting from the Boise State Esports Arena. Time for our lower finals. It's going to be the Stingrays and the Lynx facing off with a shot in the grand finals up against the Barracudas. Who's going to make it there? Who's going to have the opportunity to finally go toe-to-toe with the Barracudas? And will they take them down? Will we have the ultimate Cinderella story here in the grand finals? Well, we'll have to just wait and see when we get there. I'm still your host, Artie Rain, joined on desk by Joe Chigbrow. So I was completely wrong. There was other games happening at the same time. And so with that being said, we are going to go into our last lower finals game before we get to see who faces off against the Barracudas. I normally don't do this, but because there's, a lot of stakes, and if anyone's listening who's from the teams, of course I like to make the stakes higher because that's just what I do. I'm a pot stirrer. I stir the pot. If you had to put your money on either team to make it to grand finals to go up against the Barracudas, who would it be?
Well, we missed some games, so what are the two teams that are playing for right now?
It's going to actually be the Lynx facing off against the Stingrays.
Lynx facing off? Okay, so I don't know these rosters fairly well. I feel like the Lynx and the Stingrays actually switch it up quite a bit, but if I had to guess solely from record alone, I feel like I'd have to go with the Lynxes, right?
I'm in the same boat as you. Normally I try to split the desk, but I'm on the same page. So you can see how things actually went. Stingrays, they got a bye, so they weren't as warmed up as the Wolves, but they still ended up on top. The Lynx are now going to go against the Stingrays to see who ends up against the Barracudas. The Lynx are looking for their second opportunity to go against the Barracudas, as are the Stingrays. Both teams out for revenge, have not played against each other in this series just thus far in the entire bracket. So this is a whole new game, so to speak. But before we even get to all that excitement, there's other excitement we got to at least celebrate, and we actually want to take a moment to congratulate all of our Esports Tower club members who have graduated across the different clubs and have received scholarship offers across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower club members have received, and just pause for dramatic effect, $3.9 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and earned these scholarship opportunities. These players that are receiving these scholarships are talented, hardworking, driven, and we could not be more proud and excited to see all the opportunities these players are getting.
That is kind of insane when you think about it.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, I feel like we're still, I feel like I've said this a number of times, but we're kind of sitting in, the very beginning of something a lot bigger, and I'm really excited to see how these Esports Tower kids do, a few years from now. And I don't know, it's just really exciting.
I'm excited to possibly see, coming into the next semester, into the fall, maybe one of these players that we see from Esports Tower goes up against the Broncos, and we get to see how much they grow and have changed from literally day one of being on broadcasts here with us as Esports Tower players, and then seeing them go into the college league and be able to see them play as a college player and just see the exponential growth that they get from all of it. It's just absolutely amazing. So do us a solid, don't change your name. If you do, just give us a little shout out so we can always give you a quick nod and recognition for all your hard work. But hard work aside, a lot of these players need some advice, and that comes in the form of Doc's Keys to the Game in Rocket League, presented today by Esports Tower. In Rocket League, it's create the mistakes, punish the overcommits, play walls better, and demo to disrupt. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. All right, it's time to kick off our lower finals. Both Stingrays and Lynx were sent to the lower bracket by the Barracudas. So there's blood in the water already, and both are thirsting for revenge. Question is, who's hungrier for it? Who's going to play cleaner? Who has the best rotations and follow-up? Who's not going to leave their net wide open and just hand a goal-scoring opportunity over on a silver plate? Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Right off the bat, Rake trying to push downfield. Greed will follow it up. Maybe has an opportunity here with Nano, and they do find a way through. Greed.
Ooh, I think you and I made a mistake. Look, I mean, Greed, when we got to see you at the Esports Tower Invitational, Nano, same to you. You guys are powerhouses in your own right, but we've got Rake also coming in for the Lynx, so that's a pretty solid player, too. A little 50-50 on who could win this entire series, but there's some demolitions coming out quite early here in game number 1.
Oh, Greed will win a big 50-50 out in the corner. State's able to clear it out. A good third man will keep them alive. Not Sicko in the air to keep the pressure on. Rake is there to respond. Passes over to State. 50-50 off of Greed. He'll push it across the midfield line. Greed with another shot. Stingrays leading now. Lynx is in no way prepared for Greed to win yet another 50-50 against them. That will put the Stingrays into a winning position. Less than 1 minute taken from this clock.
Okay, yes, they're in a winning position, but the important thing to remember is, never mind, Nano, you can just make me eat my words. I was going to say that when you have a goal, a 2-goal lead in the first minute, that's not kind of the end of the world. It's when you see that 2-goal lead as we're going into the last, minute 30 seconds that you get concerned. But now it's a 3-goal lead, and Nano does whiff, so we have the opportunity now for Switch to push forward, but they can't get past Greed, who reads them like a book and just immediately sends it back into the corner. Rake's going to play the ball up. Look to dunk it down, try to actually use Greed as an opportunity to push that ball forward. Shot on goal from Nano. It's going to get saved. State pushes the ball to midfield stripe. Read again by Greed. Pinch almost results in a goal. Nano's just barely going to get a nose on it. State with possession. Going to go across midfield stripe. They do have Rake to give to, but instead they try to send it somewhere else, and the ball's going to end up in the defensive third of Lynx territory. Not Sick is just going to take a touch, get it past one. Have a pinch off towards the ceiling. Greed, there was no one there, and Switch unfortunately didn't read Greed like a book, as Greed has read everyone else, and that is another goal for the Stingrays. Yeah, I think we might have been very wrong, but perhaps, Lynx, I beg of you, let this just be a warm-up and this be a standard Esports Tower best-of-3 series? Question mark?
I mean, if this remains the case, I have to wonder what we missed in Stingrays versus Wolves. The Stingrays, feel very hot right now. All of these shots, well-deserved breakdowns and defensive line are just fantastic double touches, as that third goal just caught me way off guard there. Greed trying to lead the way here, but is going to get blocked out with the Lynx, and they're able to break through. They're not completely dead yet. They have 3 more that they need to get in 3 minutes. Definitely possible. A good shot all around. Now, State looking to get 1 more for his team. Nano's able to block it, but not well enough for State to keep pushing. Greed towards the corner. Nano's going to rotate back and out, leaving time for Greed to be in the way again. Pop up over Sicko, and State's there to respond again. State is single-handedly bringing them back into this game, only a 2-goal difference, and now they have almost 3 minutes to score only 2.
They can do it. I have faith. We'll have to wait and see, though. I'm not playing favorites. I don't have favorites, unless you're Quez. But that's just because Quez is an old soul, just like I am. So I find a kindred spirit in someone who's been in an org for a very long time. But I have to stick to my guns here when it comes to the, we both went for the Lynxes. It's just the Lynxes gotta come through here for us.
Even if this isn't their game. Oh my gosh, another one? No way.
What?
Oh my goodness. That's 2 waterfall double touches in 1 game. Admittedly, the defense is just not quite able to respond to that backboard play. Maybe the Stingrays have addressed that as a way to get past this Lynx defense. It's just play to that one weakness. They don't defend their backboard well enough. An excellent start here for the Stingrays. Just pressuring that backboard again. A good shot.
Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
They have the Lynx number right now. Nobody on the backboard, nobody able to respond. Stingrays running the offensive end.
Lynx is just so you know, when you guys scored those goals, I did clap for you, but because I have a mic against my face, I had to golf clap. I'm not trying to blow out anyone's eardrums. And another golf clap.
Golf claps all around.
Yes, most definitely. Lynx, you've got 3 goals to score, 1 minute and 45 to do it. I said you could bring it back, but you've let also 2 more goals go through for the Stingrays. Stop it, please, I beg of you.
Natsego looking for the solo play, is able to get past 1, looking to get past Switch, gets the 50-50 up. Nano not quite able to respond. A bump onto the defender could have meant a disaster again for the Lynxes, but they're able to get in the way at the last moment. State being the saving grace yet again. Nano trying to create an opportunity here, a pressure on the wall, not quite able to do it. Rake pushing towards Vault as well. Switch with a pass away, pass Greed. Rake against the corner is able to beat Sicko. A shot opportunity for Switch, but he can't find the way in. State takes another shot. Sicko pushes it out, and the play will reset in its entirety. State has to throw the ball away to keep it away from Sicko, and possession will remain in favor of the Lynx as they cross the midfield line.
Ooh, looks like Greed got a little bit of a helping hand to get across the goal. Ball now inside defensive third for Lynx. Looking for an opportunity to get it out. Got Switch, have the ball get pinched with them and their teammate. And Greed instead's gonna swoop in, steal it away, send it across. Still gets another touch using the back of their car. Nano.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Oh my goodness,
See, this
Nano.
is why I need a replay button. I don't know how that happened.
I'm pretty sure all 3 of Nano's goals this game have been backboard double touches. 2 of them have been the waterfall. He is feeling hot, hot, hot right now, leading the charge. Less than half a minute left on the clock. 7-3 in favor of the Stingrays. At this point, I think it's wrapped up for the Lynx. But a 10-goal game in the first game. I'm curious if we're going to see complete silence on the offensive end coming into game 2. Just both teams trying to soften up their defense a little bit more.
Basing off what we've seen in the past here with Esports Tower, and I just sounded like a very grumpy old person for a moment there. You know, we have really heavy scoring games, typically game 1 or game 2 in most cases that we've seen. And then the next game preceding that, well, after that, tends to be very low, very quiet, as you said. So we're either going to get just absolute explosion, like there's 50-50 here, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to get absolute explosions coming out from both teams, again, and a high-scoring game, or it's going to be crickets, and we're going to see like a 1-goal game.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I feel like you said, part of that explosion, I feel like we could also see a semi-lower scoring game, but with like 30 demos, knowing these players, especially with Nano on the pitch, right? I mean, it's definitely something you have to be thinking about if you're the Lynx right now. Is like, hey, when is Nano going to start doing the thing, man? We got to start communicating, because whenever he starts doing it, it can't catch us off guard. And I'm curious what they've got in store for us next game.
Perhaps we'll see Nano go Demolitions Expert when or if the side of the Stingrays starts to struggle a little bit. And then, you know, Nano likes to do the, I'm going to be very heavy-handed with it, and then just at a random moment, I'm going to stop being heavy-handed, and you just have to play very scared, never knowing if I'm going to demo you or go after the ball. So we go into the kickoff here of game number 2 with Stingrays in the series, leading by 1 in a best-of-5.
Rake is able to keep it off his backboard. No opportunities this time for the Stingrays. Pushing past the midfield line. Greed is in the way. Ends up clearing it using his own backboard. Sicko's not able to respond. Ooh! It bounced a little awkward. Rake is able to jump on the opportunity immediately. Now Lynx will lead for the first time in this series. Only by 1. Plenty of time left on the clock. Greed pushed towards the wall. Nano leading it up, goes for another solo play, but can't quite do it with a bump. Sicko wins 50-50, past State into the corner. State just trying to remain in control, maybe takes it past his own net, does get the 50-50. It will clear across, and now Greed, with an incorrect pinch. It'll just go out to Nano, just trying to play past one. They can't quite do it. They have to go to the defensive end. Stingrays have to find a way out, found on the back foot coming into game 2.
And just for anyone who wasn't here last week, I want to give you a quick reminder of how things worked out for the Lynxes against the Barracudas during our bracket stage. Lynx actually took Barracudas to a Game 5, so they went the distance, and they're ready to do it again. The question is, can they? Because it definitely seems like the Stingrays are just as hungry for the opportunity to take a bite out of the Barracudas and take away the Grand Championship title this week. We'll have to wait and see, though. Lynx is still leading by 1, definitely a lower scoring game than we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, maybe that silence that we talked about is a possibility speaking truths right now. No big explosions in any form. Nano pushing it towards the wall. Not a great touch. Rake gets the pass over to State, who hits it off the back wall, but a good response from Nano will keep him alive a little longer. Pushing towards the wall, the double tap from Nano. A demo on the Nano. Nano being on the receiving end of a demo is not something we get to call that often. Sicko able to keep it at the midfield line. Pass up by Switch, blocked by Greed. It'll stay at the midfield line. This battle that I speak of every game is finally coming to a close as the Stingrays are able to create some pressure in the corner.
2 minutes have now elapsed, with the Lynxes being the only one to find the back of the net with 1 goal. Rake trying to carry the ball across midfield, stripe. Nano said, no, my friend, you can't take that many touches. You need to find a pass, and they did not. So unfortunately, it's going to be a turnaround, and Greed will take it away, finding the first goal here for the Stingrays. About 3 minutes left on the clock as we are at the ever so popular, it's complicated, 0-0 scoreline.
Another goal for the Stingrays thanks to a lack of defense on their backboard. They seem to have found their comfort zone in scoring goals against the Lynx. We'll have to see how many opportunities the Lynx really give them after game 1 here. Sicko pushing up the wall, has a solo play in hand, has the pass to Nano in hand, but it's a little bit awkward. Takes it off the wall himself, can't get the pinch out mid. A pass off the back wall. Sicko's not quite able to get it in. Greed is going to chase it up the wall, try to get past State. He does get past State. State just barely not able to make contact, so the 50-50 remains in the corner. Nano with a pinch, rolls that out mid. Rake doesn't get that good of a save. State has to save it at the last moment. This is an opportunity. It's against the backboard. No one's there. Sicko barely overshoots it. Is not able to find the back of the net. Rake with the clear pass, Nano, and we will transition to a Lynx offense.
Nano, give and go to Greed. Switch at midfield, pitches it up towards the ceiling. 50-50, dunk down off the ceiling. Now Rake looking for a redirect and whiffs on it. Follow-up from State will find goal number 2 for the Lynx to put them in the lead as we have just under 2 minutes left on the clock, and we have a game of Rocket League.
Definitely a lot more tight game at this point. Last game we were sitting at, I believe, 9 goals, and now there are only 3 accounted for. Greed pushing it towards the wall. State is remaining in control. State being a driving force for the Lynx right now. A bang off the back wall. Switch isn't able to respond. Rake is there instead off the backboard. Greed gets the clear. Nano has the response, but he's demoed by State. Looking for the 50-50. Sicko will lose it out to State. No response yet from Stingray's defense. A response from Rake. He tries to push it in from an awkward angle. He can't do it. State has the follow-up. Lynxes will now lead 3-1 over Stingrays. Kind of a flop for what we saw in game 1.
I think the Lynxes were testing the waters the Stingrays were swimming in and just waiting for the opportunity to strike.
Ooh, there it is.
Ooh.
Nano's online. 2 demos from Nano. He's getting mad. Oh, and another one, but that time on Not Sicko.
And Greed looked like they tried to get a touch, but could not find it. State. Oh, okay. All right. I see you. State, go back to respawn. It's all right. Oh.
Yeah. Again, no one on the Lynx backboard. Stingray is all over that play right now. That's 4 backboard double touches for the Stingrays in just this series alone.
So what Joe is saying is do better.
Maybe not that, but I mean, yeah, but
defend the backboard
maybe not
better.
like that.
Let me be a little less toxic about it. You got to defend that backboard better. I mean, I'm even noticing it. That's a huge problem. But State, I mean, truly, I'm not trying to be like the, you know, when you have a powerhouse, they're the only player on the field, because they're not. But facilitating State, I think, is the important thing here, and giving State these opportunities. But having a double commit like that in front of your own net is not a good idea. It goes unpunished, thankfully, as ball crosses midfield. Stripe switch it is gonna get it up over Not Sicko. But there's going to be a response right away from the other defender for the Stingrays. Volleying ball across midfield, Stripe State elevates in response. It's a double touch off the wall. We have 3 seconds remaining. Lynx is leading by 1. Stingrays looking for that extra. I think State's looking to ground it, but State, nope. Yeah, okay, yes, State was looking to ground it. They tried to flick the ball towards the ground. Rake will elevate, get it past Not Sicko. Nano plays it off the wall. Oh, no way.
Oh, it just a little bit off. Not quite able to do it.
I don't know. I think Nano's shot was a little bit too low to actually make it across the field without having to bounce to take it into the net.
No, I don't doubt that at all. It definitely didn't have enough juice on that one particular plunge, but the Greed definitely could have had. It was an awkward shot to take, but it's definitely something he could have done. It's a shot we've seen taken before by even other Esports Stars players, but it's a really awkward shot. It's one of those shots that you take maybe 10 times, you hit twice. It's not really that. It's very difficult, especially in a stressful situation when you have the clock working against you and you're not really feeling good. You're down 1. You just came out of a dominating win, so you feel like maybe you've done something maybe a little wrong going into game 2. But, you know, going to game 3, I think we're looking at maybe a little bit more explosions right at the end there. That last minute, we saw a lot more demos than we saw in the first 4.
Yeah, Nano might come online a little bit more in that regard.
Yeah.
But now we are at the traditional Esports Tower best of 3.
Of course.
I
the
mean,
tradition, for sure.
No matter how many games we start with, it seems like whenever we are in these semifinals and grand final situations, it's even if it's a best of 7, it still ends up going to best of 3.
Exactly.
So with that being said, there's still safety nets in existence for these players. It's just gonna see who finds 2 games first. It could be 3 whole games before we get there. We'll have to wait and see.
Launching into game 3, Rake leading the way immediately. Not quite able to do too much with it. Nano has the control off the wall. Past State is able to outplay 1. Just barely loses control, so he can't get past Switch. Not Sicko will pop in to help him out. However, they'll push past the midfield line. It'll roll up the ball, but Rake says he's not having that. He pushes it against the way here. Not Sicko not quite able to make contact. Rake is still pushing downfield, trying to find the pass out mid. 2 players on the wall. State barely not able to find the back of the net. Rake is now up to take the awkward angle shot. He hits it towards the backboard. Nano with the clear. It'll kind of just pitter out in the corner. Now a reset from the Stingrays defense as they try to find a flick out to a teammate.
I need to get a double commit counter because that was a lot from the Stingrays in a very short amount of time. Did not get punished, but they almost did. They were definitely walking a fine line. Looks like State's now trying to take up the mantle of defending that back wall.
Another one.
But, I mean, when you were already forced out of position, State, you needed someone else to go take that defensive position, and it couldn't be you. Unfortunately, Stingrays still know the... I want to say it's just a chink, but it might be a very, very prominent slice taken out of the armor here for the Lynxes. That is that backboard.
Yeah, at this point, it's not even just a tiny hole in the armor. It's a hole. He's missing his helmet. Hit him in the head kind of deal. There definitely needs to be a reevaluation of the defensive measures here from the Lynx. The offense clearly is online. They're able to win game 2, but every goal that the Stingrays are getting is due to a lack of defense on the Lynx backboard. Greed just trying to find a way back into that play opportunity, but Not Sicko has the clear.
Man!
Greed able to play past 1, looking for the flick probably here, is not able to get past Switch. Now towards the wall, Not Sicko gets the pass, but Rake is there to respond first. Nano with the pass over to Greed mid-air. He leaves a little bit of time, then takes the shot and no Lynx is in the way.
Dang.
Stingrays now lead 2-0. 3 minutes, 15 left on the clock.
I'm trying so very hard to stick to my guns here about the Lynxes being the ones to come out on top. I mean, if you took the Barracudas to a full 5-game series, you can do it. But I think these lulls, kind of this sine wave that we're getting of play coming out from the Lynxes is going to be their undoing. It seems like those troughs in that sine wave are just coming at the worst times, and that is when they're getting, you know, their heels nipped on a bit here. They're losing out on that backboard play, and that could be their Achilles heel. I mean, Game 2 was phenomenal from them. Where are those plays being made? State had a great shot, but there was no follow-up. Yes, State can be the goal, take the goals, but you need to help State with that follow-up and those rotations. You can't just let them walk into your territory like you are right now. Stingray's looking for an opportunity. It's going to be raked, steal it away. Bring it down into the corner. Does not look like they'll maintain possession as Not Sicko dunks it down to Greed, who's going to push it forward into the corner. And ball across this Lynx's net, does not find its way in. Back in midfield stripe, State pops it, ball up, is gonna have to just rotate back as Switch Among Us comes in. Lots of pressure on him. Ball gets pinched up back to midfield stripe.
Kind of just rolls in the middle of the field here. Switch pushing it towards the sidewall, thinks he has time to make a play. He doesn't. In fact, 2 defenders are able to get in the way for the Stingrays. Hangs out in the midfield line. The battle for midfield kind of at its head here. Greed is able to get past one. Oh, and gets the lucky flick. I can tell you that is one of those things, because you miss the first flick, you never can do it intentionally. I mean, I guess you could practice it, but no one ever does it intentionally because they'd rather just take the shot now. But he gets it just in time, the lucky flick on the last flip of his car. And they will push ahead by 3 goals now. Like you said, that sine wave paying dividends in the calculus of Rocket League.
Ew, calculus.
Hey, you brought up sine waves.
I know, I know. I shouldn't have. My brain no math good. Now we've got Switch with possession. Oh, okay, Not Sicko's kind of, I think Not Sicko is trying to play a little bit of Demolition Derby here as we're dwindling down towards that last minute. We'll have to wait and see.
Everyone's getting involved a little bit. I feel like the Stingrays feel really comfortable right now just trying to prevent the Lynx from ever crossing the midfield line at all, just by dispersing their pressure before they're actually able to build it. It's a good attempt here, and it's clearly working. They're holding the Lynx at a 0 scoreline, not something we've seen from either team so far. It might be the secret to keeping the Lynx offense in check.
Or the secret is to just convince the casters beforehand that the other team's going to win, so they caster curse the entire series. I pray that we did not, but we might have, and if we did, Lynxes, I apologize. And we got Nano pushing forward. Not Sick is ready for the give and go in order to force the defender out of position, but they went in too late and ended up colliding. 3-car pileup ball now crossing midfield. Stripe Rake looking for a shot opportunity. Nano cuts in front of them just in time.
Switch fakes off the wall, leaves it for State. Maybe looking for a pass out mid here, not able to make quality contact with it. Nano has the clear. Oh, he doesn't have that great of a clear, he has to follow it up. Ooh. Rake is able to keep the 50-50 in play. It doesn't bounce very well for Switch to respond, so State just has to keep it in play. High in the air in front of his own net. Greed can probably just take the shot, but he's probably going to go for the double tap, as they tend to. Does not get it, however, and the Lynxes will walk away scoreless in Game 3.
Well, if you want the opportunity to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then you need to join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. All right, so that game was definitely a little bit rough. We've seen better from the Lynxes. Do you have faith that they can bring this back in their favor, or do you think it's just the sine wave is still going down at this point?
I think definitely the Stingrays are feeling it right now. Whatever energy they brought in from playing the Wolves earlier in the day is definitely working for them. Their strategy is definitely turning it around, but I feel like at this point, obviously they could adapt to this playstyle that the Stingrays have adopted, but I feel like every time I say that, it's just by the time you get to the last game, you run out of time to really make those changes. The changes need to happen earlier. You need to address these problems earlier. So we'll have to see. We could go to that classic Game 5 scenario with Esports Tower, but at this point, I'm betting kind of on the Stingrays.
And credit where it's due, we also have a sub coming in right now for the Lynxes. Rake is subbing in for Torque, and Torque could be that standard, more backline midfield defender who does take up the mantle of being that backboard defense that we're kind of lacking right now for the Stingrays. And if that is the case, then of course, there's always next week, and they can always try again. But for now, Rake perhaps should have watched some of how, Torque played. I mean, I know Rake did. I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm pretty sure that's Coach Jake, actually, who's subbing in. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure they know how Torque normally played, and they're trying to fill in and be that puzzle piece, but they aren't doing it well enough because it seems like our midfield is not there. It seems like that backline defense is not there. So hopefully they fix it now, and I hope we're going back on the uphill path, the sine wave here, and we're not still going down towards that lower trough. Oh, actually, we are going to take a quick break instead, and we'll be back here in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere. Grab some water. I mean, I have water too, but I'll drink more myself. Grab a few snacks and join us here in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
You take really strong players from disparate communities and you put them together on teams with expert coaching.
So you mean to tell me by all the hands in the room, everybody in here is that top 2%?
It's ultimate. It's a 1v1. It proceeds on to the last moment.
It's not every day that you're a kid like me and you get to have this experience.
Something. It gets one.
This boot camp is really about finding out every weakness.
There's no such thing as a big mistake at this level.
I have people in the crowd there cheering my name on. I have to give them a show.
That feeling of just being up on stage and having a whole crowd of people, it's unbeatable.
1v1, but... Oh, why would you pick him?
I love this. I want to do this every day.
Another hit!
You didn't make a choice. So you were just looking at things.
If you want to go pro, sometimes you have to make sacrifices.
Jump up and down, you're a crowd, you're casters. It's a transformational experience.
That was a light switch, and now I see what it's all about.
A lot of players here right now are caught up in winning their tournaments 5-10 years down the road. They're not going to remember who won.
Back to this week's broadcast, the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting from the Boise State Esports Arena. Who will be our final? Who will win our final here in the Rumble for the club championships? It's the Stingrays and Barracudas facing off in a best-of-3, and I apologize before we went to break. I thought that was a best-of-5. I apparently can't read. Christmas break went too long for me. I was warned that it was going to be a best-of-3 series, and still I read best-of-5. Yeah, I can't math, I can't read. It's fine. This is why I'm studying education. Let that sink in. I'm totally kidding. I just can't read. I'm tired. I apologize. But I'm still your host, Artie Rain, joined by Joe Chigbrow. So, I'm not trying to be rude. I swear this is just our job as on-desk observers. There was a lot of things that went wrong in the last couple of games that we've seen. And I think just I have to go for the low-hanging fruit here. That backboard. How do you defend that?
I think a big part of it is, like I said earlier in the day when we were talking about rotations, you have to use your eyes and kind of check out the play and see what's going to happen. You'd be surprised, the more you play the game and the more you focus less on what the ball's doing right now and more focus on what your opponents are doing, you can see those plays coming a little bit sooner. So the last man, instead of being all the way inside the post, which is a big no-no for this reason, you want to be a little bit behind the post so you can see, oh, the ball's in the air, its trajectory is going to go towards the backboard. Before obviously the shot's not coming yet because it's going to hit the backboard first, but I can actually drive up the wall and meet it there first. We might have seen that play a lot from both teams. It's happened a couple times where I have the time, I'll go up the wall and I'll just bang it off the back wall and hit it towards my corner, or look for the long shot all the way downfield. But at the end of the day, it's just making sure you're mentally prepared and you're preparing yourself and putting yourself in a position to make those kind of saves.
I love I appreciate the terminology chosen there of no-no. You didn't just explain why it's a bad play. You just said it's a no-no move, and that's what I like to hear. So we are in the grand finals. Stingrays, Barracudas, both of our seafaring creatures here.
Yep.
Smell blood in the water. If you are a Stingrays fan, you're definitely wanting them to take down the Barracudas. They want revenge. They're hungry for it. The question is, can they take a bite out of the Barracudas? Well, I don't know if Stingrays actually can chomp. I think they're actually bottom feeders, technically.
Yeah, they are. And they also, I think, come from 2 different types of water sources, don't they?
No, so Stingrays are saltwater.
Oh, you're right. I thought that for a second. I thought Barracudas weren't saltwater.
They are indeed saltwater. They're blind as bats, though, so they're
That's
actually
true.
very, very scared fish in real life. If you ever get close to one, which you really shouldn't, but it does happen, they will get scared out of their britches and swim away because they will not see you until this big shadow is very close to them.
Well, this has been Fish Safety Tips with Artie. Coming into Game 1 of our grand finals. We'll see if the Stingrays pay heed to the safety tips. I'm interested to see if the Stingrays are going to rely too heavily on that backboard going into this matchup. Maybe they've gotten a little bit too used to it. I'm curious, but even if it is, like even if it's something they rely too much on, we'll have to see if it's something that actually makes a difference. Right off the bat, it looks like we maybe have a 2 versus 3 here with the Stingrays leading by 1 whole player. Not a good start. Nope.
I don't
maybe
think
it's in
so.
now.
I think our overlay here is wrong because we have Adrift, Yangs, and I'm just going to call you Shan. Please shorten your name for the sake of my vocal cords. Rounding out that roster for the Barracudas, all members we've not seen except for Adrift. So either they are getting funny with it and changing their names around, or Adrift is our only returning Barracudas member, which is strange because normally we see them with their dynamic duo of Thrift. With that being said, we do have 1 goal already scored here within the first minute. Going towards the Stingrays. Yeah, it is Yags. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So, do me a solid. Pick a name, not 3.
Yeah, I think keep it simple is the best way to go for names, but
Artie has smooth brain.
Oh, I think we can. Everyone who touches his desk has a little bit of the smooth brain. So myself included on that one. But right now we've got a pretty even game. Toss off the backboard. No shot taken there from, I believe it's Yags, right?
Yags. We're going to go with Yags. If you don't send us a pronunciation guide, I'm looking at you, Mr. 3 Name there. Before the game starts, yeah, we're gonna pick a pronunciation.
Adrift with a pass off the sidewall over to Yags. Gets the big launch over to Notsiko in the corner. X13 pushing it out. Notsiko playing towards the wall, not quite able to do anything with it, so Adrift will try to get the shot. Yags the pass out mid. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere helpful. Nano just has to remain in the way.
Greed's gonna snag it off the wall, send it to Nano. Nano goes for the give and go to Greed, who tries to get in the upper right corner, but overcompensates and ends up flinging the ball into the corner of the field instead. Shan's gonna elevate, try to bring it across the field, and A rather anticlimactic poof, but does find another goal for the Stingrays.
Just
Oh, sorry, the
bodying it.
Barracudas.
Oh, yep, you're right. Just bodying it through the defense there. The air dribble just being a little bit too much with the 50-50 for the Stingrays to handle. Not quite out of it yet. A pass over from Greed to Nano. Not quite able to tap it down. Shan is going to be in the way. Adrift with the 50-50 on Not Sicko. They'll play it off into the corner. Not Sicko is actually able to get there first, so Yag has the clear. Nano playing it slow in the corner. Can't get past Shan. The 50-50 is good. Adrift is up to take the shot. Blocked by Stingray's defense. Now Nano taking it towards the wall. Able to get past one, but not quite able to get past Yags. A lot of back and forth battling from corner to corner for both teams right now.
Yags carries it through too. I'm starting to see why the Barracudas are in the finals.
I mean, yeah, you got to hand it to them. It feels like they might have found the missing piece of armor for the Stingrays. 2 different air dribbles have gone through their defensive line now. Might be something they consider going into the rest of the series, or we'll have to see if the Stingrays are able to adapt. Shan not even being given the opportunity there. Drift going for the flip reset. Doesn't make quality contact, however. Nano leading the way. Tries to get a pass going here. Gets past one, but doesn't get past Shan. Oh, a little bit of an awkward and a great response for Drift to actually use his jump to boost him down in order to keep his car in the play there. Yags barely able to push it past the midfield line. Not Sicko towards the wall. Shan looking for the pass as well, but is not able to do anything with it. Greed over to Not Sicko, and the play will diffuse.
I think, and you can call me crazy, but does someone's sound effect when they get demoed here have a scream attached to it, or like a yell of some sort? Because I swear I heard that.
I don't think so. I think there's only a couple cars that have specific demo effects. So I think we could be hearing the crowd. This map has some crowd effects that go with it, if I remember correctly.
Okay, even though
some ohs or whatever.
Okay, yeah, that's probably what I heard.
Yeah. This map is supposed to be kind of like your standard Little League mom and pop come watch their kids.
Oh, okay.
Beckwith Park, it's a classic.
At least we don't hear anyone saying drive faster. That one would make my day.
Any helpful advice from the mom eggs in the stands?
Mm-hmm.
The Ags leading the charge here with a drift. Maybe able to get it down. No.
What?
Oh, wait, it goes in anyway. What? This is the grand finals, by the way, folks. Oh, and wait. Someone just apparated out of existence. And it was Yags. Yags is gone. He's called it. Oh, my goodness. Shan somehow makes the save using the inside of his own goal. And gets another one anyway. Can't tell you really what's going on, but I have to say Yags is fairly confident in this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Yags could have gotten called to go do the laundry, and the rule of thumb here is once a goal has been scored, we don't replay. I mean, Yags, it probably is okay that you are taking a quick breather. Or the Ethernet cord got pulled out, or the dog chewed it, or the cat chewed it.
It looks like they're going for a 2v2 now, as looks like the Stingrays might have pulled a player as well.
You know, I'm here for it. You never know why someone has to abandon a match. I mean, we've had a gas leak before and had a team have to leave. We've had fire alarms, actual fires, people trapped inside elevators. So, you know, just being respectful of the fact that another team's down one and you yourself playing down one is a pretty kind thing to do, especially considering the Stingrays are currently dwindling down by 2. Actually, Yags is back, so hopefully no one... Yeah, okay. Yags came back. So hopefully... that Stingrays member didn't get up and walk away from their PC thinking, it's a 2v2, I'll be the one to take the leave of absence.
Yeah.
But this is a best of 3 for the grand finals, as you mentioned earlier. This is the grand finals.
Wait, it's a best of 3 grand finals?
It is a best of 3.
Best of 3. Okay, well, this is interesting then, because I feel like the mojo might be off for the next game, which might be the whole of the series, right? I mean, both teams, mojo not off for any one player in particular. It just kind of feels like that was an awkward game from start to finish. You know, the defense was kind of weird from both sides, and the players shifting in and out. I don't feel like, if I was playing that series, I know I wouldn't feel like I'm like in the flow state yet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see what that looks like going into game 2.
I mean, grand championships that are this short are always a little intriguing for me because it's like, that's a lot of pressure. Like I said earlier, I like to stir the pot and be a pot stirrer, but I'm not going to do that when it's just a best of 3. There's already enough mounted pressure. I don't need to set the stage here. You've got one more shot here if you're rooting on the Lynx to try and take this victory for themselves in this best of 3. I'll have to wait and see, though. Barracuda's won in a 2-goal lead, 2-4. So no, it wasn't a no-goal game, but still down by 2 for as long as they were. Stingrays struggling to find a foothold here. Can they get purchase in game number 2 and bring us to a game 3?
Nano trying to find a way through. He can't quite. Greed tapping it back to himself to 50-50 off the sidewall. Not Sicko is up in the air. Demoed by Shan. Nano tips it up. Not able to do anything with it. Greed has to rotate back. No defenders yet. Nano hanging back. It's under Greed. Not Sicko gets outplayed by Shan, but only into the corner. Doesn't end up mattering. Greed barely not able to make contact there. Ends up hitting it towards the sidewall past Yags, who has to look for a back pass here. Not a great one. Shan has to just play it off the wall, but in doing so, he has to give it away to Greed, who responds immediately. Not Sicko with the pass off from Greed. Yags against the wall. Demo onto a cherry picker. Might create some space here for the Stingrays. Shan towards the ball. Not quite able to do anything with it yet, and Adrift will push past the midfield line.
Adrift with possession, leaves it. Greed capitalizes. Looks like there's an attempted redirect towards the Barracuda's net. It's going to be Shan who actually sends it away. Not Sick. Gonna just dwindle down towards the ground. Adrift gets it. Ooh, I was about to say gets it around Greed. I said it a little too soon as they got demoed by Greed instead.
Good tap out from Nano. Yags kind of has to play a passive defense for a moment there. Not Sicko. Hitting it towards the top corner. No response from Barracuda's defense. The Stingrays will lead in game 2 of 3.
Kickoff favoring Adrift from the side of the Barracudas, but it's going to be Greed instead who grabs it. I think Greed might want to answer my prayer, bringing us to a game 3, but Nano tries to go for the secondary follow-up while the tertiary and has it stolen away instead as they took too many touches with their teammates and were too slow. Yags now elevating. Flip reset off the ball, but you can't stall there in the air. Not Sicko capitalizing on the slowdown. Is able to steal the ball away.
Stingrays being in the lead here. Greed is okay, buying a little bit of time, but he doesn't effectively. Adrift almost scores a goal immediately off that play. Not Sicko actually has an open net here. And a little bit of an assumptuous rotation from the Barracudas there, going for the back boost instead of preparing for a shot from the Stingrays. Now the Stingrays leading in game 2. Adrift needs to find a way to get back in, but he can't quite beat the 50-50. Not Sicko towards the corner. Drift is up. Hits it off the back wall. It's in the air. Nano has the response. It'll push out. Shan playing it slow. Taps it past one. Pass Not Sicko. Only has one more to beat. Greed is up. He has to tap it away. Shan can't respond. Greed has possession. It'll tap away, and Nano will come out on top of a back and forth 50-50.
Ball dying down at midfield stripe. Greed pushes it into the corner. Stingray is still leading by 2 with a fat goose egg on the Barracuda scoreline. Don't know what happened. That disconnect seemed to have disconnected some of the gears inside Yang's brain because they were scoring so many goals and now they're sticking at 0 accolades. Adrift and Shan being the only 2 that have accolades for the side of the Barracudas.
Tap up and out. Yags drops it down. Greed is up and in the air, but does have to go low to get the clear out. Adrift playing it with the flip reset, tries to get the play, just can't quite do it. A little bit too much of an all or nothing play for that angle. Greed barely able to be in the way, but not well enough. The Yags will force it through, and I feel like that's a lot of goals now for the Barracudas that have just been like, we don't respect your defense. We're just going to go for the 50-50 and win it every time. We'll have to see how the Stingrays are able to adapt to that. And another goal, this time for Adrift, winning out on a missed opportunity from the Stingrays.
We are now within 1 goal for the equalizer here in game number 2. Let me restate the stakes here. This is the Grand Championship, best of 3, winner takes all. And right now, as far as the series goes, Barracudas are leading by 1, so they are at series point. If they win this one, that is it. They walk away. They get the bragging rights. And I'm pretty sure it's just bragging rights right now. We'll have to wait and see if they can find this 2 goals they need in about 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Yags playing it over, not able to get past one and push towards the corner. Nano off the sidewall, looks at the pass out mid. Greed with the 50-50, it'll roll against the wall. Shan has a little bit of space, has to get round 1. He does, over to Adrift, who pops it up. Nano has the clear, taps it far and away. A good response all around. Yags pushing it towards the corner, plays it slow. Adrift looking for the demo, he clears space for Yags, who's able to take it off the wall past 1. Shan Oh, not quite getting the touch they wanted off the 50-50. A flick up in the air. A bump on the Nano is huge. Shan will clear a path for a slow roller and will tie the game up with less than a minute left on the clock. Okay. The double fake kickoff. Nano will clear the way early, and now a shot from Not Sicko. That was a play. That was the most play of all plays.
Oh boy. I needed to take a moment of silence for all of my brain cells. It is an awkward situation when both teams go for the fake out kickoff.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to figure out what everyone's supposed to be doing because both teams' game plans went south very quickly there, but Barracudas hopped on it a little bit slower than the Stingrays in that situation. We'll have to see if they're able to respond and get that tie and goal back, but it's not looking good as the Stingrays are pressing forward in the Barracudas' end. They have to keep the ball up. I don't think Nano's going to let them do that. It actually chips up off the 50-50. It's rolling against the wall. They have the space. A whole lot of reliance on Yags there to keep it up. Shan pops up a little further. Greed taps it down, and a bump on to the Barracudas defender will mean that Game 2 goes in favor of the Stingrays. We're going to Game 3 and a best of 3.
This is it.
This is it. This is as it as it gets for this series.
Most definitely. I mean, there's no extra games. There's no safety nets. Are the Barracudas going to win? Are we going to have a DC at the minute and 30-second mark again? Are we going to have a attempt at rekindling the flame when it's too late and there's just a lot of mistakes being made? Or is there going to be actual respect given on both sides and both teams playing their hearts out here? Who knows? Next 5 minutes are going to tell, because at the end of the day, either the Lynx actually win it out and, well, sorry, the Stingrays win it out because they're playing cleanly, or the Barracudas start firing on all cylinders again and stop making silly mistakes.
Yep, that's about all that could happen. Although we've seen weirder things happen in these final games. It feels like we have a series that's close most of the way through, and then right at the end, it's like one team just blows it out of the water. We're like, all right, well, that was our grand finals, I guess.
They were gaslighting the entire time.
Someone was sandbagging from Game 1. Now, 4 people up for that ball. I can't even tell who even necessarily had first pressure there. Adrift playing it off into the corner. Nano getting bumped by his own teammate. Greed's not able to make that good of a clear. Nano happens to be in the way because he got bumped by his teammate. Shan not able to respond to Nano, who's pushing a little further downfield. Doesn't have enough boost to press it out. Greed is in the way. Waiting a little bit longer. Is able to get past one. Has to get past the second. Shan goes for the fake, but gets bumped. Bumps. It bumps into the bump to push his own defender out of the way. Now pressing towards the wall. Yags has to create a play for his team. Maybe goes for a ceiling play here, which maybe not the right call.
From the high ropes with the steel chair.
And it will just break away after all that fighting in the corners and in the defensive ends. It'll just roll across. Stingrays coming away with the first goal here. Less than a minute taken from the clock.
This is I'm resetting the stage. It's a best of 1 in our grand finals now. Let's see who goes without making mistakes, because the Stingrays, as I'm about to say, make fewer mistakes, or who makes fewer mistakes, make a double commit right above one of the offenders. With that being said, ball still inside Stingray territory. Greed's going to slow down at midfield stripe, try to get it away from Adrift. Adrift is one of the people that we know for sure from the side of the Barracudas is a very experienced esports tower player who performs great under pressure and knows how to not give up. But they collide with Yags. Greed cuts in, takes the shot. It's too wide. Popped up above the net. Adrift secures the clear, but is challenged by Not Sick. And Nano came in, but just too little, too late. Yags goes for the redirect plays. Ball across the midfield stripe. Double tap off the backboard, and we are tied at 0-0.
A beautiful double touch. He didn't just come from in the air off of his own touch. He came from the side wall. An excellent display of mechanics there from the Barracudas. Greed is up and in the way, tries to block play, can't do it. Adrift is going to pop it up and out. No response yet. Yags is in the air, taps it down. Nano puts it down as well. Shan 50-50, just hang out in front of the Stingrays net. Yags is able to keep it away from the Stingrays a little longer, but Adrift really isn't able to respond that well. So now Shan kind of has to play it in the corner.
Not Sick, challenged by Adrift. Yags off the pinch play, gets the shot. It looks like Nano is dwindling too far into the net. We don't get to see what in the world happened there, but that's okay, Nano. We don't want to relive a moment of a mistake as we go into the next kickoff. Barracuda's leading by 1. Nano goes for the challenge, is going to
Okay.
whiff on it. I think them and Not Sick didn't really figure out who was going to go for it. Greed looking for an opportunity to rekindle this play. Might be able to find it. It's Not Sick, pops into the corner. It's going to be responded to by a drift. Another response from Nano, who's looking for an opportunity to find a goal. Can't find it. 50-50 pinch towards the ceiling. Dunk down in the corner. Greed has a lot of pressure put on them. They have to leave that ball. Not Sick elevating to stop the clear from a drift, but unfortunately can't do it. Greed now has to go for the challenge against a drift. Nope, it's going to be Nano. Steals it away, sends it to midfield stripe.
Greed off the wall. Doesn't quite get a good enough touch. Not Sicko playing it mid. Looks for the flick over to Nano. Taps it past one. This could be an opportunity. No touch from Shan. No response either. But the Stingrays finally get there in time and tie this back up to a 2-2 scoreline. 2 minutes left on the clock. Ish. 50-50. A dip out from the Barracudas. They will actually go for the fake kickoff here. Greed is up and in the way. Is going to stop the play entirely. Nano with the response. Not Sicko is always up as well. Looks like we're having some coordination issues from the Stingrays this game. Not quite able to make contact in a positive way. Adrift. Looking for a play, but can't get past Nano. Nano tries to go for it as well, but Not Sicko is also in the way. Bumps his own teammate again. Okay, and now he's going to bump all of the Barracudas players as well, just making sure that he's a predator to everything that moves on the field, even the grass.
It's not Rocket League anymore, it's bumper cars. It is indeed bumper cars as Greed is sent back to the respawn screen. Adrift goes for the shot. It's going to be pinched a little wide. Secondary follow-up, I think actually was a pinch off Yags from Not Sick, but then there was another pinch towards Greed.
Ooh.
Still got saved, but Adrift manages to find that one extra goal to push the Barracudas in the lead as we have 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the clock. The question is, can the Barracudas find another to ensure that they have that security goal? Otherwise, we are in buzzer beater territory and could see our first overtime of the night. Would that make me happy? Yes. Would that upset a lot of Esports Tower players? Most likely. Do I care? No.
Greed is up, leading the pack, trying to find a lead for the Stingrays, or a tie, I should say. Nano trying to help that endeavor, but only can get the pass over. Not Sicko, not able to push past anyone. Greed with the pass up to himself, looks for the touch here, doesn't get past the drift. A shot from Nano blocked, shot from Sicko is high. Yeah, he doesn't make contact, a drift will bail him out. Pushing towards the wall, Shan takes a pass downfield, a drift next touch, but actually won't work at all. Greed will be in the way, and then it'll roll out in front of Not Sicko. Nano looking to get past one, actually takes it towards the wall, thinks he can make a play from that position. Has Shan in the way, now doesn't have any opportunity at all. They bang out towards the corner. Not Sicko's going to stop it at the midfield line, flick past one, not able to get past Yags, who goes for the one touch, but Greed will put it into the corner.
And Adrift pops the ball up. Barracudas still leading by one. Ball hits the ground, and with that, Barracudas walk away with a 2-1 victory. Congratulations, Barracudas. You are our Rumble champions. Haven't been dethroned just yet, but someone, whether it be Stingrays, whether it be the Lynx, they're out, the Wolves perhaps, but they're all out to get you. That X, every time you get this title, just keeps getting bigger and bigger on your back. And also, if you're thinking you might have what it takes to rocket in Rocket League and you live in the DMV area, then you definitely want to... Then we have the... My apologies. We have the Ultimate LAN event for you on Saturday, February 11th. TikTok is sponsoring the Gauntlet Games. Sign up today, get 2 free weeks of pre-event training, and show off your skills at Shenandoah University in Virginia. So I'm assuming if you're a Virginian, you know what the DMV is, not the Department of Motor Vehicles. It literally says if you live in the DMV zone. I'm not cuckoo here. Sign up for free, and there is a $500 prize pool and plenty of attendee swag. You'll be sure to have a great time and get plenty of opportunities to play and have fun. Sign up at esportstower.com/GG. That's esportstower.com/GG. So I'm not even going to ask you. I'm just going to let production do it because I feel like we get this wrong most of the time now. Especially today, we've been very, very wrong. So no guesses.
No guesses.
For our trio here from Desk for who our player of the game is. Do you agree with that?
No guesses.
Okay, yeah, we're just going to production. Who are our 3 people that we have to choose from now for our Esports Tower player of the game, which is our entire evening?
Yeah. Who are our 3 guesses, and why are they all Gem Mountain?
Yes, that is a valid question.
Let's see. We start off with Sicko.
All right, all right.
I would argue Sicko was kind of at the head of a lot of really aggressive, I want to say all or nothing plays, and he definitely had a great showing in the first series, working to take down, I believe that was the Wolves? Or was that the Lynx? Or no, we didn't get to see the Wolves.
The Lynx.
We saw the Lynx, yeah. Definitely an impressive showing from him.
Chance, next one is Greed. Greed had a lot of great backboard plays.
I think Greed is a good option too. I think Nano also popped off really well in this series as well. He had 2 really impressive goals to his name.
Okay, so I'm completely cuckoo. This is actually our player of the game. We're not doing the trio. So State is actually tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Esports Tower. And if you want to hone your skills and prove what you have, prove that you have what it takes to play at the next level, head over to esportstower.com, sign up to be a part of the action. Sicko is the Esports Tower player of the game. And as we prepare to close out tonight, do you have any big takeaways?
Oh, gosh. The backboard is important. Let's defend it.
I have no arguments with that one. And that is our short advice. I think that one from Joe, one from myself is going to be don't be so much of a ball hog, most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, congratulations to all of our fantastic Rocket League play that we had tonight, and our victors at the end of the evening, of course, are going to be the Barracudas for the Rumble Championships, in the Club Championships. And they definitely had a lot of momentum coming in from last week, but they slowed down a little bit there in game number 2. So let's see if we can make a game with very few mistakes next week. And next week, we actually kick off our Club Championships, and you will not want to miss anything. So tune in next Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're going to close out today with our top 5 plays of the game, presented to you today by Esports Tower. If you want to improve your game and your skills and bring them to the next level, sign-ups are now available for the Esports Tower Rocket League. Join our free starter club for Rocket League and improve your skills. Head over to esportstower.com for more info. From all of us here at Boise State University, have a lovely evening, and we'll see you later.
Notre Dame beat out barely. Now Tony, high shot over side, and it should just no. They did not quite find a way to get it through at the firing center. Walk with no goal in that situation. Oh my goodness, he could almost froze. Now it's on the cut ahead to get the rebound. Now State looking to get one more for his team. Nano's able to block it, but not well enough for State to keep pushing. Greed towards the corner. Nano's going to rotate back and out, leaving time for Greed to be in the way again. Pop up over Sicko, and State's there to respond again. State is single-handedly bringing them back to this game, only a 2-goal difference, and now they have almost 3 minutes to score, only 2. Lynx have addressed that as a way to get past this Lynx defense. It's just play to that one weakness. They don't defend their backboard well enough. An excellent start here for the Stingrays. Just pressuring that backboard again. A good shot.
Oh
yeah.
My God!
They have the Lynx number right now. Nobody on the backboard, nobody able to respond. Stingrays running the offensive end. Switch, pushing it towards the sidewall, thinks he has time to make a play. He doesn't. In fact, 2 defenders are able to get in the way for the Stingrays. Hangs out in the midfield line. The battle for midfield kind of at its head here. Greed is able to get past one. Oh, and gets the lucky flick. I can tell you that is one of those things, because you missed the first, so there's no opportunity at all for the Wolves. A clear out to the midfield line. Kuda is able to respond, looks to the play off the ceiling. Doesn't quite hit the ceiling hard enough. Meeting Scythe up in the field. Now F is the last defender. Takes the shot towards the high corner. Tony is not quite up and in the way. 25 seconds left on the clock. Wolves are well in the lead. They just need to